Hello.
It's not working. Oh, it's come on at long last.
It wasn't coming on.
No, it just did the intro, got to 28 seconds, and it's just stopped. And then all of a sudden, it just came on. So I told you, it must be the heat. It's caused a lot of problems tonight, by the looks of it. Well, hello there, Tony. Are we all right? Is the sound all right? And the picture okay tonight? If you can tell us before we get started, Tony, I would appreciate that.
Sound check, video check.
Yeah, and everything like that. So,
and then we'll get on with the show. The show.
Yes, we've got the woman in black.
Yeah.
That's who it is, I believe. It's the woman in black. So I don't know whether we're going out live or not. Have you checked out yet? Fab on both.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yes, well, tonight we're talking about leaks, drip. I believe. Gail told me to look it up, and I have looked up this slang word, drip. And what does it mean? I will tell you what it means now first.
Okay, go on.
It means if you have the drip, it means you have a swagger, especially in how you look. You're hot, you're cool, you're on point. You've got the sauce. That's me. I've got the swagger. I've got the look because I've got my Hawaiian T-shirt on just to make you laugh. You know, I mean, I'll pull back just to show you that the Hawaiian T-shirt. Look at that. I thought I'd get them all going like that tonight. So yes,
he's got you know the old adverts for Cinzano or Martini. He's Keith is stuck in the 1980s with that T-shirt. I bet it's from the 1980s. So no,
it was when I went over to no sound on my end. Hello, Keith. No sound on my end. So
that's weird because Tony can hear us very loud and clear. So I don't know what's going on with Southern Cross at all.
Yeah, I don't. You know, as I said, it's whether it's got to do with the high pressure and the humidity in the air, but it didn't go very well at the start. So hope that you can sort the problem out because it's showing that my mic's working and it's showing that Gail's mic's working. Yeah. Well, this week we're going to be looking into drip, and it's, as I said, this because it's a slang word. It's been in operation since 2002. It came about. It's Generation Z use it, and it means you have the swagger, especially in how you look. So that's why I've got this shirt on tonight. You're hot, then you're cool. Hell, it is hot. And you're on the point, and you've got the sauce. I don't know which sauce it is. So he's saying what Marcus is here. Hello, Marcus. Can you hear us both, me and
Hi,
Gail?
Martin.
Nice of you
So
to
anyway,
join.
of course, Keith has done his research on I've forgotten the word now.
Drip.
What drip is?
DRIP. It's like in water, because when you've got a leak or a drip in tap, but we're talking about being cool. And Gail says to me earlier on when we discussed what we was going to talk about this week was that she said it's all the young ones queuing up for all the designer shoes, bags, and everything like that. So I have been doing the research, and all I can find out about it is that it's supposed to be, Generation said, it's cool, you're on point, and you're in the sauce. And it's a sauce bit I like. So Marcus says he can hear us both. So
Right.
what can you tell us about the drip then, Gail?
All right. So what the drip is about looking cool, looking good, and it's at any price. So some teenagers do it on the cheap. So if you go to Insta and put on cheap drip, it's not so much trending, but it was trending about 6 months ago. If you go in and talk about what drip is, it's wearing very, very in vogue clothing. So the in vogue clothing at the moment is Canada Goose. So a young lad might buy a Canada Goose jacket for £1,000. The other thing that's in is Trapster. So Trapster tracksuits and shirts cost a t-shirt and a pair of shorts is £165 currently. And then if you are a sort of connoisseur of tennis shoes, hi SCS Live Deck. Basically, if you get a pair of Nikes, like a Nike Air Force One, you can pay anything from between zero to God knows, the sky is the limit. So basically what happens is, obviously, you have the influence of social media, the pressure to look cool, and it's at what price? Because what's going on is the biggest people getting into debt between the ages of 16 and 24 are the people who are buying all this drip. So yeah, they've got your Mankini, Keith. Apparently, the Dynamic Duo UK, they've got your Mankini.
Yes,
so that's a bit interesting.
Yes, I got a message from him. He said, call round Tuesday morning. So now I know what it is, so I'll keep away then. Because you'll expect me to wear it on this.
Well, I think that would be good. I think we should do a live stream with the unboxing and then Keith trying it on. We'll obviously
Go on, Gail, sorry.
We'll have to cover up the bottom bits for decency. We won't have no bottom bits of Keith showing because it's TMI just basically. So that's so yeah. I'm not going to go on to the other subject that I was looking at Instagram the other day. I'm not going to go there, but we're talking about drip, so I'm not digressing from drip. So it's an interesting subject, the old drip. So obviously the Dynamic Duo went to Turkey. And they've probably gone and bought the designer brand cheap because, well, not so cheap anymore. But if they were to buy the same designer brands here, they would be 4 or 5 times as much. And I know that kids are spending, Canada Goose top is £1,000. And there's another brand called Montpellier. The Montpellier jackets are between £1,200 and £1,500 for one item.
Well, and I don't think I would buy that. I don't think I would spend that much on clothing, not to just wear it once or twice and then throw it away. I don't know what people think about that in the stream. I forgot my words. Look at that. I'm losing it. Oh, I am. Yes, so, in the audience. So would you buy one then at that price?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, the thing is They should go to Turkey. Oh, Marmaris. So Marmaris is a very, I think it's a coat would cost £60. I paid £35 for Yeezy and look the same and feel the same. I wouldn't pay 300. Yeezys are the trainers that is it Kanye West invented, and then he had a fallout with Adidas. So he separated from Adidas, and he's earned $25 million as Adidas sell off his stock. There was another trend. There was another trend going around a few months ago, Keith. It was quite hilarious. People were paying £500 for a massive pair of. Did you see the red shoes ones? They had these red shoes, like. Yeah, so really, really expensive, and people were paying for it. Like, you can't walk in the bloody things, and they're like £500, and you're going, "What the hell?" And it's so expensive there. So I think that's why people go to Turkey, because people buy snidey stuff, and I think snidey stuff's always been a thing. So they sell it in Turkey. I remember in Hong Kong, buying stuff in Hong Kong for like $3 for Abercrombie tops years ago. But when you look at it, you could basically buy, say, this T-shirt with Harvard on, which probably costs what? Well, it's from Harvard, so it's like $25. But if it said Supreme, or if it said something else, you would basically be paying more, money, for crap. Really, it's just the same quality, it's just got a different name on it. Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, £500 to look like you've soiled yourself whilst trying to walk. It does look like that. But people think it's cool. It's like you think of the Birkin bag, like women love Birkin bags, but the most expensive Birkin bag, Keith, do you know how much the most expensive Birkin bag is for a handbag? One
handbag, I would say anywhere 10,000,
250 to 500,000.
Cool, hell,
for a handbag.
And people would pay that. Yes,
Yes.
I can understand the rich paying for it, paying that price, because they throw money. It means nothing to them. But for the ordinary working class, such as us, and those in the audience, in the chat, most of us couldn't afford to pay that.
No, but you can get cheaper bags. So you can get, like, say, for example, a Birkin bag for $10,000, but there's a long waiting list. So it's the exclusivity and price that keeps it, keeps this going. So it's the drip scene is perpetuated by social media, as it always has been. And young people will always buy what's cool. And it's even like, if you think about old guys, what's the older guy's favorite accessory at the moment?
Mine's walking stick.
Yeah. but what's Andrew Tate? What's Andrew Tate always going on about?
I don't watch him, so
okay.
He's
Andrew
not
Tate,
who I watch at all.
Well, I'm not a fan, but Andrew Tate is always going on about Bugatti sports cars. So if you're a young guy, what's the ultimate status symbol is a motor car. And what's happening is when there were objects of desire years ago, you could buy, you'd buy things cheap. But now the objects of desire have gone so pricey because social media has made it like a status symbol.
Yeah, agreed.
It increases the value. Look at Prime.
The drink. Yeah.
Like, some stores are still selling. How much? Selling Prime. I bought a can of Prime from Sainsbury's yesterday for £2, right? The shop across the road was charging £15 for a can. And remember that Wakey Wines bloke charging 100.
Yeah.
And Dynamic says he's happy with his Peugeot. It's cheap to run, and I can make. Do you know what? It don't matter for me. I've got a small car as well. I've got a Yaris. It's 2012, very old car, but I never have a problem with it. It is cheap to run, and it only costs me a couple of hundred quid to service it every year. And the tires go wrong every 5. The only things I've had to do this year is I've had to have a new battery. because the car was 12 years old.
Yeah.
And I had to I'll probably have to get a new clutch, which I think is around 500 quid. Marcus, it doesn't taste that good, to be honest with you. It's very sweet and sickly. So it's not like, for me, it's not any better or any worse than Red Bull. It tastes like, how can I describe it? If you've ever had Vimto or Iron Brew, it's a mixture between Vimto and Iron Brew. It just, but it's faint.
Yeah. So, and that's part of the cool scene, is it? Generation Z with drip.
Well, yes. Well, it's not quite drip, but it's part of that branding.
Yeah.
Is key. It's like, if you can come up with a brand that attracts youth, then you can sell basically anything. And Prime has proven that. Because that was released, it got almost like a cult-like following, and then people were prepared to pay £100 for a can on the second-hand market, and they're still selling bottles on they're still selling empty bottles on eBay, especially the earlier versions, for between £50 and £100 for a empty bottle.
Yeah, cool. Hell, why do these young ones pay that much? Have they got that much disposable income to throw away? I mean, because this takes us back to the cost of living crisis that we were talking about the other week. That, most people are struggling, and yet seeing these young ones spending that type of money must be so frustrating, because I know it would frustrate me to see people throwing that type of money away.
But then the problem is there's so much pressure from social media. Oh, that was nice of you. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, Marcus. You don't have to do that, really. I appreciate it, but it should have come on. Why hasn't it come on tonight?
Keith is going to buy another one. So next week, Marcus, you might see Keith in another Club Tropicana shirt, because he likes, he's going to collect them. We're going to have a collection of Club Tropicana shirts.
Come on, it's taking its time. Thank you very much. As I said, Marcus, very, very good. Very, very nice of you. I wish I was in that position.
What?
I'd love to do super chats and everything like that, but being a pensioner, it's when you're on a fixed income, it is very hard. Yeah, I know you're still working. You've got your pension, but you're still working. There she goes again, calling hell out of me. She really does like to take me to.
Yep. But anyway, let's go back. So you've got the pressure of social media and young people wanting to conform. And it's saying that there was a survey done recently that an awful lot of 16 to 24-year-olds are already in debt because of the money they're spending on designer brands to make themselves look and feel good. And if you think about it, years ago, although there was a pressure to buy expensive clothes, you didn't have social media. And social media is perpetuating demand and making objects of desire more expensive. And I think if you look at Prime, that proves the point. The concept of a fizzy drink costing £100 a can means people have gone crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, when you look at that, I think manufacturers have taken advantage of social media in a big way, because to keep up with social media, as you said, especially with the young, you've got a lot of girls who have got anorexia because of the pressure of social media, looking good, wanting to look fantastic all the time. So in one way, I'm pleased I am the age I am, because I don't have to keep up with social media or anything. So, I look at that and I think that is very, very hard. Hello, Sakari. Welcome to the stream. Another new one, but I haven't got a welcome on my channel. So,
Never
but
mind.
I will welcome you. Thank you for dropping in. So,
Yeah,
yes,
so
sorry, Gail, go on, carry
no,
on.
go on. No, you're fine. Go on, Keith. Keep going.
No, I was just going to say that uh, do I think social media is a good thing? No, I don't, because of the pressure it puts on the young and even content creators, because they've got to be on social media to hopefully to get a following, building up a following on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or even here on YouTube. There is a lot of pressure. I mean, most people do take notice of the sub count, which I never have. Never bothered me. It's the views.
Mm.
Uh, I'm pleased, as I've said before on this podcast, that if I get 10 people who have
Yeah.
looked at it, checked it out, that's fine by me, because that's 10 people who thought it was worth listening to and looking into. It's like when we go live, I don't have that many on because I don't promote it.
Mm.
I do no promotion. So really, I don't think I'm in the drip class.
Well, no, I don't. I think that if you go back and you talk about social media, do I think it's a good thing? Yes, I do. Why? Because I think it's good that you can. This medium is a very good way of contacting and linking up with people. And obviously, some of the trips I'm making to the US in the next 6 to 8 months are because I've met people on social media and I'm visiting them. So in that sense, it's a really good thing, and it's a really good
Yeah,
bit of information. It's a really good information superhighway. But when you have a look at social media in the context of, thank you, Tony, in the context of basically look at all of the influencers. Look at Casey Neistat, who doesn't do so much anymore. But if you look at Peter McKinnon and the
yeah,
usual suspects like Chelsea Northrop, and you look at all of them, every time there's a new thing that comes up, the new camera, new lens, new everything, they're always trying to flog it. And
yeah,
it's almost as if I was watching Sarah Dietschy the other day, right? And that woman has God knows how many cameras, and she's going, "Oh, I need a new vlogging camera. I need a new ZVE-M1, whatever it is."
yeah,
And I'm sitting there and going, "You actually don't need another camera because you've already got 100 cameras. Why do you need another one? You've got the new Sony full frame camera, which is lightweight. Why do you need another camera?" And if you think one of the things we've got to do on a live on the live stream, Keith, I'm just thinking out loud here, is we're going to have to look at crazy things that influencers have tried to flog us over the years.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's another good one. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's yeah.
yeah,
So we're coming up with ideas, Gail, definitely for this show.
yeah.
But yeah, go back on Sarah's one. Why does she need all those cameras? Because like me, I've got 5 cameras, and all I ever do is perhaps use one every now and again, and all I'm doing is charging up batteries. So that really is affecting the climate because I'm using electricity. Uh, I mean, it takes me on average once a month to charge all my batteries on my electrical gear,
Mm,
about 12 hours. You
mm,
know, because I've got, like, as I say, I've got 5 cameras. I've got the crane. There's 2 batteries in that I've got to charge up. I've got my phone, my Apple Watch. I've got 3 iPads. So all of those have got to be charged up at least once a month to keep them in a good sense, good. Um,
But
yeah,
if you're an influencer, you're getting paid. So Sarah
yeah,
and Peter McKinnon and all of those people are getting paid an awful lot of money
yeah,
to promote the products. So every time there's a drop, they're going to go. They've flown them. I know they've flown them to San Diego. They've flown them to Japan. Panasonic flew people to Japan and everything. And I think that even if you switch that into branding as well, if you think of, I was watching the film about Michael Jordan. It was really, really interesting. And it was like, he was the first person, he began personalizing his shoes. And if you see how much those shoes have made over the years. Jordan 1's Nikes are one of the most expensive trainer even now, or tennis shoe, that you can ever buy. And the demand for the right sort of tennis shoe trainer is really, really high. And when you think about when big brands promote their drops, like Supreme, which is a company, used to sell things on the used market really expensive because it created a second-hand market afterwards. So the aftermarket, when you bought things, was twice as expensive, the resale market. And I think that's what's happening today. A lot of people are promoting fashion, fast fashion, and they're making a profit at the end of it. You only have to look at, like, the crazy thing right now is Wakey Wines, right? The over expensive prime person started selling those sweets, right? He started selling sweets. So now you've got 3 or 4 influencers now who have started to sell sweets. I cannot tell you what shit people order. Like, you see them, there were these boxes, and they're throwing bottles and bottles and bottles of canned drinks into, I think it was Red Bull Amsterdam version. Somebody put 10 bottles in there with 5 cans of mountain melon, whatever. And I'm going, are people crazy? They're paying £200 to post for a can of pop.
Ridiculous. Honestly, it is really ridiculous. I just don't know where the world's going, you know, because it just surprises me, you know. I mean, when I've done this research for this topic, I looked at it, and I've looked at the pictures on Google and images with all these people queuing up outside these designer stores, ready to buy all these things, and I thought to myself, I've never done that. Maybe it's because it's the world that we live in nowadays. That when you look, Generation Z, they want everything there and then. They can't wait. And firms have taken all this on board and are doing it and pushing all these. And you've got all these influencers on social media, as you've mentioned, who are helping in this, because I don't know what it is. People seem to worship these influencers, don't they? You know, they really look up to them, and no matter what they do, they live on every word that they say.
And then that perpetuates a problem, because people are always like, places like Instagram and YouTube are always talking about start your own business, make loads of money. And then there's a pressure then, because you want to give the impression that you're successful. So in order to look successful, you've got to buy the appropriate clothing to give the facade. I mean, there's been so many there's been so many videos, and that's another interesting subject if you want to go down that rabbit hole, of Instagram's people faking pictures of them traveling to different countries, and even faking the plane seats they're sitting on. So they use a green screen and pretend they're flying first class or business class and everything like this, just to give the illusion that they're successful, in the hope that they will be successful. And you sit there and go, how, what is, the world's crazy. And people buy the big red shoes and pay £500 for a pair of big red shoes and think it's cool. I don't know if you've seen the news with Kanye West, the videos he's shown recently. Some of the stuff oh my days, some of the stuff Kanye West is wearing is really, really weird. So
yeah, well, this is it, you know. Go back to my age. I am pleased I am the age I am, because I think it's too much of a rat race now to succeed. As you say, that's all you see on YouTube is how to succeed as a live streamer, content creator. And when you look at how many actually make it, very few really make it. So it's better. Like me, it's a hobby to me, this. And social media is a hobby because, all right, I use social media to a certain extent. Hello, Vanessa. That I use it for the simple reason is that I can keep up with the family. And look who else is in the room. It's Boom. I'm back for the Adventure Bike Rider Festival evening all. So he's been away for a bike meetup, Adventure Bike Rider Festival. Tim, so I'm pleased you're back, Tim, and welcome to the stream.
And tonight we are talking about the subject of drip. And in case you don't know what drip is, it's a young person's phenomena where people want to look sharp. But I came across, and I hadn't thought about this for ages, but this is another really interesting off the wall subject, as I am again, because my viewing is like my mind. Have you heard of the Congo dandies, Keith?
This afternoon on your live stream, yes,
Yeah.
where you showed all those the videos of them, yes. So that was the first time I've heard of those. So I'm gonna look them up because I know from past experience that you'll want to talk about those.
It's very interesting because they come from the Congo, which is one of the poorest countries
Mm.
in the world. And basically, they just dress the way they dress. I mean, they spend all their money on their clothes for sure, but they just it's interesting. It's like it's so unique. It's like they've created their own style. So in all of the poverty of the Congo and all of that worn, torn stuff, there is these very smartly dressed people wandering around looking phenomenal, to be honest with you, in all that poverty. And you're thinking, wow, where, they want to stand out. And it's
Yeah,
definitely something that interests me. It's like I think it's either Ghana or Nigeria. I don't know which country it is, where they do the little dances with the coffins. Have you seen that?
yeah, I've seen that as well.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
yes,
absolutely, and you're thinking, these people have got it right. Yes, they do like the name brands and everything, but they probably will wear outfits and things for years and style it better than us because it's precious to them because of
yeah,
the shortness of stuff and the lack of things. But going back, like you said, we are very much living in a society where everybody wants everything now. We snap our fingers, we want it.
yeah,
And social media exacerbates it because it's like almost as if with the Google search thing, it's almost as if I feel they listen to you sometimes, or they definitely find out what your patterns are, because very soon after, whatever you're looking for, it'll either come up in your your favorite videos. There'll be a
yeah,
subject and there'll be 10. So if you
yeah.
put in Sony CV1, you're going to get 15 videos on Sony CV1.
Ones, yeah,
And it's almost as if even though you're unconsciously thinking about it, you might not purchase that item, but because you're reminded again, you go out and buy that item. And I
yeah,
think that's
yeah,
what's going on with the youth. It's definitely they'll watch videos. So they'll watch one video, say on drip, and they'll go, "Oh, I really like those Nike trainers." They'll get
yeah,
9 other suggested videos. And then the very next day, they're out there in the shop because everybody's on social media. Look at us going to this shop. And then if you're not there, you're not part of that it crowd. And
yeah, yeah.
it's a very sad state of affairs because it's like keeping up with the Joneses, isn't it?
It is, yeah, yeah, because that's when I looked at it and I looking at the subject, I thought that's exactly what it is. It's keeping up with the Joneses, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas in my day, things weren't that expensive, but if they went out and bought a new colour TV, we had to go out and buy a new colour TV.
Yeah.
But things are a lot more expensive. So
Yeah.
now you get to the point where um, it's beyond a joke. So I look at it, you know, as I say, I'm pleased I am the age I am because I wouldn't like that pressure on me now. I mean, I didn't when I was a youngster. I was never that way. I've never been materialistic or anything. I've enjoyed my holidays, but I've never been materialistic. And if I wanted anything, I always used to save up for it, and that's why I managed. And I was just thinking that because we're talking about this subject drip, do you know who invented that word or where it
I
came from?
don't I don't know. It was something, that I'd heard, and I think it's just something that's come from the street, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think it's sort of did it come up in about 2010 or the early
No,
2000s?
no, it's from 1996. A singer
Right,
called Lily Kika. Uh, she sang "Pimp the Pen," and in the words where the sauce whacker takes credit for the modern use of the word. So, Sauce Mania, that's where it all came from. So it was a rapper,
right.
which,
Vanessa's saying that my feeds are now filled with sock ads and vehicle ads. Yeah, because clearly you've been talking about vehicles and I'm telling you, it's really spooky. This is a really spooky thing, right? I dare you now to just put any old shit in there. Like when you're searching, just put any old shit in, right? Whatever, some
hmm,
obscure thing. So if you put in like Supreme or put in Trapstar or put in whatever, put in Bellagio, whatever, you will find that in the next week you will be inundated with that on your
yeah,
social feeds, even your
yeah,
Facebook feeds. Whatever you do, it's it'll go into a feed, right? It goes into the feeds.
yes. So look what Tony's put. He's put search money. Yes,
No,
I've
don't
done
even.
things like
Oh
that,
no,
Tony.
Tony, don't even do that, right? Because, oh, here we go. More random shit that I come out with. Basically, if you go onto YouTube, right? If you go onto YouTube and go, right? People seriously are making money out of this. It cracks me up. It's,
Hmm.
have you heard of the thing manifestation, Keith?
Yes, yeah. Go
Right.
on.
So basically, there was a book written years ago in the 90s called The Secret. It's all about manifestation. And if you think hard enough, you can make money. Well, basically, there's some ASMR channels now that all they do is they just go, I'm going to do some ASMR. You just have to think money, dream money. Money will come to you. Just think of money. And basically, they're getting loads of money off it because stupid people are following them and joining their clubs. And you're like, are you crazy? Are you crazy? Vanessa says, last week I have been getting a ton of ads for commercial laboratory equipment. I search for liquid nitrogen sewer flasks. I'm telling you, just don't put anything like plutonium in for crying out loud because you'll get the officers coming round and flipping arresting you for terrorism. So please don't put anything like nuclear or what in there.
No, that would be a nightmare dream. So she says, yeah. Oh,
Definitely.
yeah. But this is it. It's because of the system AI now.
Yeah.
Whatever you look at, whatever you research. Uh,
Yeah.
so I like this one. What Marcus has put in: making
Honestly,
money, making money by talking about money. Genius. Yeah,
Marcus, they don't even talk about money. They just go, you are seeing the number 8. You are going to make money in the future. Think about it. Dream about it. It's time to make money. And they play some shocking music in the background.
yeah,
And there are some that will charge you. So they'll be like, I've got mystic powers, So, so it's just like the prosperity preachers. You know what I'm saying? That's another
yeah.
tangent I go off on. Give me your money, give you your money. And if you give me your money, you will get it back 10 times. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like all these on YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah.
Promising you all this. If you do this, if you follow this way, you will be successful
Yeah.
on YouTube. Um, I look at some of the channels I follow that they have been stuck on the 200 to 300 subscriber mark for
Yeah.
years, and some of them put up a lot of stuff. I mean, like Tony, DJI man Tony, I think
Yeah.
he's got over 2,000 odd videos on his channel, and he's still only on 743, 46, somewhere around there.
But again, it's not about subscribers, it's about the business. So if you're
Yeah,
good at business, you can do it. Vanessa says, "My second job in the United States Air Force was public health inspector. My first job was removed from that. Security. I don't think they do, Vanessa. Well, they don't in the UK anyway. So if you have certain security clearances, they only last a specific amount of time, depending on what you've got, because you have what's called DV vetting and managed vetting, and then you've got your basic vetting. But it doesn't last for life. I think it lasts. Hi, Vauxhall. I think your vetting
hi
lasts in
Paul.
the I think your vetting in the UK lasts for between 5 and 10 years, depending on what field you go into. And
Yeah,
even if you change a job, if you go into military intelligence, you're going to be vetted every year due to
yeah.
what you're depending on what area you're in.
Yeah. Did you see what Marcus said to you, Gail?
I know he said I could be good at doing ASMR. You know, it could be
Yeah.
good to start an MSR channel, couldn't it? You can make money. £10, £10. Just
Well, you've got
imagine a cloud of money falling on your head. Yeah, okay.
yeah, yeah.
The stuff will
That's
no, yeah,
right.
of course. Going back, of course, Vanessa, your stuff will not be stop being classified because you've probably signed what's called the official, your American version of the Official Secrets Act. And if you've done that, basically you can't disclose anything, because if you do, then you are breaching your own security code and you're liable to be arrested and imprisoned, I think. But anyway, could you, Vanessa, while we're on it, do you know anything about the secret area, Area 54? So if you know any secrets about that, you can disclose them to us. We'll keep it secret
Thanks a
on
lot, Paul. I put this on, Paul, because we were started off talking about drip. It's not a leaking tap. It's about Generation Z wanting to look cool and everything like that. So that's why I put this shirt on, because I think I look cool in it. Don't
Yeah.
all put in bad remarks straight away.
Anyway, Paul, if you'd like to, Keith decided that he's going to do an impromptu promotion this evening. If you'd like to buy one of these multicolored dream coats, like he's calling himself Keith and the multicolored dream coat, and having a play, you too can have one for the official price of, how much are they? £10.99, Keith, from the Eagle
Yeah.
shop.
See what Paul says. He says, I look cool.
He's
See,
being
so
nice. He's like, "No, Keith, you look like somebody. You look like the retired version of Miami Vice." So when they were Don Johnson was going on his boat in the 90s, you're fine. But
yeah,
now you're just like, what he was called? That guy, what was the guy who was called? He said that's a bargain for your to shirt, Keith.
yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. So Vanessa says, Area 51, laughs out loud. I can take you out there, Groom Lake.
Oh, do you know what? I'd really like, that's one of my sort of
Adventures.
aspirations in life. I'd
Yeah,
really want to go there. I think I might do. When I finish this job, I think I might go there.
yeah. And what about Vanessa also says, I have a standing offer to visit the mountain and have a tour. I can bring friends.
That's
So
cool.
you're going over in
Well, I'm not. I'm
October.
on the wrong coast. In the wrong coast, though.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame,
I'm
isn't
in
it?
Miami I'm in Miami one time, and then I'm in Grand Rapids a second time.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. So you'll have to.
I'm so excited about that trip, because I'm going to be doing like a tour of all the lounges in Heathrow. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
So
yes.
I'm going to see how many I can do. Better yet, certain hangars in Texas, Massachusetts, and California would be fun to visit. Well, I've been to. I spend quite a lot of time in California. I've been to Boston about 3 times, I think. I've never been to Texas. Have you been to Texas?
Yes, yes, yes. San Antonio, Houston. Yes, I've toured Texas. Yes, it's funny because I went out for lunch today, and the couple
Mhm.
who we sat next to, they've just come back from San Antonio because his
Wow.
brother lives there. So
Right.
they're 3 weeks in Texas.
Mm.
So it's funny how you get talking to people, and they did all that. And it's in Texas, Massachusetts, and it would be fun to visit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the thing is what you when you start sort of sitting down and talking to people, you realize how a small world it is. And I was having this conversation the other night that because we don't have the community anymore with adults and kids, um, I think that the demand to look good and feel part of something puts more pressure on kids.
yeah, yeah.
To be honest with
Tim
you,
says deep in the heart of Texas, he meant.
deep in the heart, do Texas. Yes, I'd love to do Texas. But you know what? I think at the moment as I'm a bit of a flight nerd, if you are thinking about doing American flights right now, British Airways and Finnair both have sales on. Um, have you ever seen a fleet of autonomous drones charge themselves up and take off and map an area? They then identify. Bloody hell, that is. Again, I was talking about the same thing this afternoon about sort of how far technology is going, Keith,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and how scary it is.
It is, yes, yes. As I said, I did watch your show this afternoon on replay, so I thoroughly enjoyed it. But you never let me know you was going
Well,
live. See, so
droning, I was proper like, oh, I'll go live and I'll just drone on, and I did drone on, and God knows what I talked about because I changed the subject all the time, like I've done this evening.
yeah. Yes, I know. Well, you always do, but that's part and parcel of the show that we do because
Yeah.
you are random, and we talk about random things. We might
But
start
you know
off.
what, though? It all segues back into the influence of media and social media, the influence it has on people.
Yeah,
And again, I was talking about that concept of armed drones. Tony was in my stream, and basically we were talking. Thank you, Vanessa. We were talking about the fact that drones are small now, and I don't think that I think drones are already armed, but no one is publishing that fact. I think that countries like Russia and America have already got drones, and they've probably got manufactured small small objects that can cause major damage.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
100%.
Yes. So,
And
is there any more you want to say on the subject of drip?
uh, I don't know
Well,
what. Look at
Vanessa's put up random look up STD.
MIL STD 105D and its successor documents. That will be weird.
Yeah. Yes, we'll have to look that up after the show.
Yeah, gosh. I mean, DJ again, Tony. I'm telling you, DJI was armed to drop bombs. Of course, it is. It's sort of like they're already experimenting with those robot dogs. The onset of the internet, they had the World Wide Web in the early 70s, but they didn't release it to the public until now because how the hell did men communicate with astronauts on the moon?
Yeah.
Was it all radio waves, or were they using a friend of mine about how many years ago? It must have been almost 30 years ago, was experimenting with Wi-Fi radio frequencies years ago, and he was getting signals on his computer.
Yeah.
So it's thing. Oh, military standard 105D is a statistical sampling document to perform. Oh my God. No, I'm not going to get into that, Keith. I'm telling you now, you start going down that rabbit hole, some bloody army bloke's going to be knocking on my flipping door. Like, what are you doing? And
Yeah.
Rob Walsh is coming. Good evening, Rob.
Yeah. Hello, Welsh Rob. Nice of you to join us. Thank you for dropping in. It's a show that we do every Sunday.
Every Sunday at 8:30 when we
30.
talk about different subjects.
Yes.
Random sampling, of course, plays a huge part. Yes, unbiased random sampling. Yeah, but once you start digging into unbiased random sampling and you go into the details of random sampling, there's some stuff hidden in plain sight. So yeah, yeah, I don't like looking at stuff like that. It scares me. It really does. I'm like, oh no.
Well, you'll have to do another random live sometimes again.
Yes, I think. So anyway, Keith, I think that's our conversation this evening. Hello,
Yes, so do I. Steve
hello,
just come in as
Wondergate.
well. Hello, Steve. Wondergate Gaming. His channel's growing, really fast. Anyway,
Wow.
as we said, we're going to close this live stream down. This conversation on drip tonight, and we will see you next Sunday with another
Yes.
fascinating subject. So, thank you very much for joining in the chat, everybody, and I hope everybody will support everybody else. So, bye for now. And Tony says, sweet dreams.
Thank you, Tony.
TTFN. Bye for
Bye.
now.
I've been unmuted. You're on mute still. Mute, Keith. Unmute.